Hello students, how are you? This is Miss Medina, and in this video we're going to talk about graphing linear equations. Let's see, our warm-up question was, assuming a linear relationship, find the missing value. So a linear relationship means that the increase between the points is going to be constant. So let me go ahead and get a pencil. Here we go. So this one went from 3 to 7, and then from 7 to 11, 11 to 15. And so in kind of finding the pattern, you can do 7 minus 3, and that gives you 4. So here we had an increase of 4. 3 plus 4 was 7. 11 minus 7 is also 4. So the increase here was also 4. 7 plus 4 is 11. Same thing if we do 15 minus 11 gives us 4. So as we can see, the change here is adding 4 for every single number. So that means that 15 plus 4 will be equal to 19. So that's our missing number, okay? All right, finding the slope graphically. When you're finding the slope graphically, first you want to find 2 points on the function at crosshairs, okay? So points at crosshairs are going to be something like this one, all right? Because it's right where the crosshairs meet. All right, but not this one. This is not a good point right here, so no. This one's not good because it's not at the crosshairs. No, not good. This one's also a good point, okay? This is also at the crosshairs. So learning how to identify your points so you can do slope is a really good thing. So going back to this, we identify the points. Go ahead and erase this. And then so now what we want to do is count the rise. Remember, slope is the change in the y-axis over the change in the x-axis. And we can get this by finding the difference between the y's and finding the difference between the x's. Okay? So if we look right here, this y is 6, that y is 7. So how much was the rise? It was a positive 1. Okay? Then we started here and we went this way. And if you look at your x's, you'll see that you started at 1 and you move to 5. And 5 minus 1 is 4. All right, and sometimes we do this by counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And so the slope is the rise, which is this one, and over the run, which is this one. So it's 1 over 4. Finding the slope graphically, what we see here is that the function is actually decreasing across its entire domain. So the first thing you want to do is you want to identify 2 points that we can use for the slope that is at the crosshairs. My computer is a little slow responding. All right, looks like we can use this one. No, 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 and yes, this one. Okay. So in terms of the run, right? You start here and we end here. What's the difference? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're going 3 to the right. Now for the rise, there is no rise. We actually have a drop because we started at y equals 2 and we ended up at y equals 0. Okay. So how much did it drop? It dropped by 2. Okay. So for this slope, it's going to be negative 2 over positive 3, or just simply negative 2 over 3. Okay. So this tells you that you're dropping 2 when you're running 3 to the right. Okay, zooming out. All right, this one, once again, is slope. This is a decreasing slope, and we want to find 2 points that we can use. So the points that we can use are going to be this one, and no, 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 and this one. Okay, so the drop is going to be 1 unit, right? Negative 1, right? This one was at 8, this one's at 7, so the drop is 1. And the run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that means that the slope is -1/5. So instead of you're given a graph, you're given 2 points and you're asked to find the slope from 2 points, that's when we're going to use the slope formula, which is this one. We wrote it before in a previous slide. Okay? So when you have your 2 points, you just need to identify, right? So since this is the first point, that's x1 and y1. This is the second point, so that's x2 and that's y2. Okay? So the slope is going to be the change in the y's over the change in the x's. How do we calculate the change in the y's? We subtract the y's and we subtract the x's for the change in the x's. So then ultimately it looks like this: 20 minus 8 over 12 minus 2. Right, and you just put this in a calculator over here. Whoop, on Desmos. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got Desmos to work again. And so we're going to do 20 minus 8 over 12 minus 2. And we get 1.2, and to turn this into a fraction is 6/5. Okay? So the slope is 6/5. And that's a positive slope, that's a negative slope. Okay? So we can practice again. What is the slope of the line that passes through those 2 points? So you're going to use the slope formula. Okay? These are the y's. Okay, so the slope is going to be -11 minus -1 over, these are the x's, -8 minus -8. Okay, if you're not comfortable with your double negatives, once again, you just need to put this in illuminate in Desmos, right? And -8 minus a -8. All right, it says undefined. When you get the word undefined in Desmos, and the reason why we get undefined is because the denominator right here, this is -8 plus 8, which gives you 0. If you get 0 in the denominator, it's undefined. What does that mean? That means that you have a vertical line. Who has an undefined slope and whose equation is x equals whatever our x value is. And our x value is -8. So as weird as this sounds, it looks like a solution, like an answer, x equals -8. X equals -8 is this. And if you don't believe me, let's go to Desmos and watch. X equals -8. And see, voila. It's a vertical line that goes through x equals -8. Every single point that has -8 as an x. All right. See on this one. What is the slope of the line that goes through those 2 points? Okay, so then you just take your y's, 2 minus 2, over 14 minus 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. The whole thing is going to be 0, but let's say you didn't see it because you're busy working. So you got 2 minus 2, and then you do 14 minus 2, and you're like 0. Yes, this is an acceptable answer, okay? This means that the slope is 0. Every time your slope is 0, that means that you have a horizontal line. And the equation is y equals your y value. And what's the y value in this one? The y value is 2. So as weird as that sounds, that is the formula for this. And we can go ahead and try it on Desmos. Y equals 2. And as you can see, So a horizontal line that goes across every single point that has a y value of 2. I'm going to cut off the video on this one and I'll continue it in a different one, all right?